Join us for a review of the new Mazda CX-30. Let's go! Please subscribe if you haven't done so far, so you'll be updated with all the latest reviews. Here, the Mazda CX-30 now. The front, it does have some resemblance definitely to the other Mazda family, but also the new Mazda 3 because they share, Mazda 3 and Mazda CX-30, the very same platform. So it gets all the technology from the new Mazda 3. Here also with a very three-dimensional front grille, this dot design, and you do not need a special style trim for that. They introduced that logic with the Mazda 3, so even the base version looks elaborate and sporty. I think that's quite a cool decision. LED is also standard, those lamps, and the daytime running light here is in the lower part. 4 meters 39, 14 foot 4 or 173 inches is the length here of the CX-30, and that means 12 centimeters longer or 5-inch longer than the CX-3 or 15 centimeters shorter or 6 inches shorter than the CX-5. And also price-wise, the CX-30 is indeed between the CX-3 and the CX-5. So length and price-wise in between. Entry price, for example, in Germany is 24k, and that's about 3,000 euros cheaper than the CX-5, and then about 5,000 euros more expensive than the CX-3. We also have a modern rear design right here, also with this horizontal light LED structure, and then the round one together with that. It looks a little bit like, the Jaguar E-Type or F-Type design. What's your take on that? And this one here is called Snowflake White Pearl. Yeah, funny name for white. Usually it's like Alpine White or something. Whatever, Snowflake White Pearl. And here, of course, as the CX-30 has those really big crossover wheel arches in the black plastic cladding, that one then, of course, here in white, gives you the biggest contrast. So what about engines? There will be a 1.8 liter diesel with 116 horsepower. Then there will be a Skyactiv-G, that's the naturally aspirated petrol engine, the one we can also see here, 2 liter of displacement, 122 horsepower. And then the new Skyactiv-X, which is also a petrol engine without a turbo but with a compressor. This one then to self-ignite the fuel like a diesel would do. So a petrol engine with some, let's say, diesel features. The Skyactiv-X, also 2 liter of displacement, but then 180 horsepower, so a little bit stronger than that one. And for all engines, you can either get a 6-speed manual gearbox or a 6-speed automatic transmission. You can also optionally get an all-wheel drive. Soft touch here at the inside of the doors. Then there are different trims available here. This is a brown leatherette, but there will be more cool stuff coming up. Either 8 speakers or optional for 750 euros, 12-speaker Bose sound system. I can recommend it for music lovers. Pretty nice. Then door pockets are rather slim but still work. Then this interior, you see some resemblance. Mazda 3, of course, same platform, same parts and so on. Sporty steering wheel, left side for the volume control, for example, right side for the cruise control, and I mean just a very sporty and simple and clean style. Zoom more to the dials. Here you can already again see this, there's brown color, but there's like not in the leather red, but like just soft touch again. Yeah, it is somewhat resembling to the Mazda 3, but you sit more upright, a little bit more comfortable. So if you seek more comfort, then this one here will be better than the Mazda 3. And if you compare it inside the segment, this is definitely a nice, cozy and good seating position. Interior overview, a nice central design, clean, but yet, with some interesting lines right there. This one is also soft touch, so really great build quality. Here, even metal knurling around the knobs for the climate unit. Very well accessible, by the way, also while driving. When we soon drive the car, I will tell you more about it, how it behaves while driving. Steering wheel heating and seat heating is available. This one, by the way, also one of the few options. But then again, cool that we have so many standard features I just mentioned. Those instruments here, 7-inch digital screen in the middle. Yes, the middle one is digital and the outside ones are analog. Then the head-up display, you can see the current speed, allowed speed, and there will be also some GPS information, for example, when you have a route set. Then soon more deals to that screen. And they have not done it with touch, so you cannot even reach it very well. Then it need to be here, so it's a little bit better as for integration. They said it's safer when you don't use touchscreen while driving. So far, Mazda had that function that in standstill you could use it with touch, and while driving not. That was also maybe a good compromise. Here again, they use this central control knob. And the funny thing is, actually I think touchscreen is on the one hand easier, but I've been using it now for a couple of hours and I was finding the functions quite easy, and I could very well control it also without touch. So positive impression for me there. Then you have a separate volume knob still in the lower console. Other than that, in the front part, there's either this closed cover, and it's not exactly black piano lacquer plain. There's a structure inside. Then in front of that, you also have space for a smartphone or something. You also have the USB port, and it works with the connection. Or you can open this one here for adaptive cup holders. Then again, this central control knob, also with some hotkeys. And this armrest, you can slide it backwards first. And after you have done that, then you can actually open it, and there's some storage underneath. And now to the interior of the white car, because I want to show you, again, soft touch black here, and then the color scheme here is blue, so it's a dark blue, really interesting. It's hard to see it maybe at the moment in this light on camera, but this is also a blue leatherette. Then those ones here are also the recommended base fabric seats. They keep you cooler in summertime and warmer in wintertime, and they don't cost anything extra. And you can see here the middle armrest is also covered with the blue leatherette, so a very cool style. We usually see that like in high-class, premium, or even luxury vehicles, also throughout the middle console. So I think it's a very good idea, and the whole dashboard also, soon another perspective of that. And you can get in and out pretty easily, and those fabric seats are also a little bit softer as for the top cushion, because the animal skin material is a little bit tighter. And here again, look at this dashboard, all then in this subtle blue tone. Looks so premium, great idea. So what do you think? Please leave me some comments here to the blue interior. Legroom wise, of course, it's not the longest car, and we've also seen cars with a better package. I do fit in here, and it's a little bit better than in the CX-3, but still, for 4 tall adults, you're a little bit limited. That would be still an advantage than for the CX-5 with the legroom, definitely. So yeah, it's not recommended to drive with 4 tall adults all the time here. Now to the trunk. Yeah, it takes a while to open with the electric hatch here, but nice option to have it available. 430 liters is the capacity, and you can see it's very well usable. Good square dimensions. You can either have this optional sound system in here, other than that also replacement tire. And some possibilities to, put things right here inside. Anchor points, top tether at the rear. And then let's put a cabin trolley inside here that you can see it also. Like this, it also fits vertically. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the new Mazda CX-30. Here, first drive with the 2-liter petrol engine, naturally aspirated, 120 horsepower, front-wheel drive and manual gearbox. So it's the cheapest one you can actually get, and can we also recommend the cheapest one? Let's find out right now. We're starting here on the motorway. The first thing we realize is really silent, driving 100 kilometers or 60 miles an hour at the moment, and it's really decently silent in here. That's because in the new Mazda 3 generation with this new platform, which is also shared by this vehicle, they especially increased here the noise insulation at the at the level of your head, of your ears. And that is really helpful indeed. The manual gearbox, we'll also experience a little bit more when we drive off the motorway very soon. But how we put in the gears is very smooth but crisp at the same time. So there's not big resistance, but when you put in the gears, it's just exactly the right feedback you might want to have. So that's pretty cool. I am a fan of automatic gearbox just for comfort reasons. And they, most of them, also sportier, but this manual gearbox is, anything you might desire, so that's totally fine. Getting into the next toll booth, but we have an automatic B-pane here, so we can go through quite fastly. And the whole car delivers a very connected experience from driver, road, and street. That's also what Mazda intends to, but indeed this works right here. The steering has a very natural feeling. It is somewhat soft, yes, but you still feel connected to it. And also, as for the lane keeping assist, it doesn't annoy you too much, so you can still steer freely. That's cool. And here we can now also show you some acceleration. Of course, it's not a very powerful engine, and then the NAs have to be pushed a little bit. So let's accelerate from 30 kilometers. I'm in a second gear, and let's just let it fly. See, there's not like any sports mode or something, but for manual gearbox, it doesn't make any difference. So let's go. That's 90. Off third gear. And that's 120. So yes, that takes a while. Maybe I could have also started in first gear, but first gear in 30, yeah, I mean, from standstill, of course. So yes, it doesn't have a, big acceleration figure or something. But then again, for this street and city driving, it's actually sufficient. And again, I think the most important one about this is very silent from the engine. And also this engine saves money in the entry price. Also fuel consumption, driven a longer way now when we keep it a little bit steady. So not with too much city traffic, you can score as low as 6 liters on 100 kilometers. That's 39 mpg US or 47 mpg UK. And now we have switched vehicles directly to the new Skyactiv-X. Here also 2 liters of displacement, but 180 horsepower, and with this self-ignition technology, so a technology from a diesel in a petrol engine, supposed to combine more performance but less fuel consumption at the same time, so to say. That's what they claim, but of course we want to find out ourselves. I have been driving that one in the prototype, but now of course the final production model. Really excited to do that here right now. Also, this car is equipped with the all-wheel drive, so this will be also pretty exciting. And of course, first we want to know how spontaneous is the reaction from the engine and so on, and is it really that performing? Let's put it in the second gear, and that was like 50 to 90. So definitely we feel there's a difference to the smaller petrol engine, yes, but that's also, the 60 horsepower difference, that definitely also plays a role, Well, definitely a difference in the acceleration, and what I also feel is a difference here when we, for example, second gear and we're going uphill, there's something happening, there's something coming. So off-camera moderation, I also had a situation with the smaller petrol engine where I was going uphill, second gear, and the car was really struggling. So if you if you need to get up hills quite frequently, then this upgrade can definitely make sense. Other than that, although the acceleration was faster, yes, the base characteristic of the engine does not feel too different. So you would not feel like, oh, I'm driving a completely different engine concept. So it does not feel like a difference between petrol and diesel, for example. It rather feels like the normal petrol engine, just that you have a little bit more power. first by this 60 horsepower plus, but then also, you know, since you have somewhat like a compressor, but it's not directly a feeling of a turbo engine. So the feeling of a turbo engine would, you know, like when I would accelerate now and then now the, you know, turbo would set in and would give some boost, but here it's again also this rather linear power delivery. So not a diesel, rather feels like a naturally aspirated petrol engine with a little bit more power. And now to our conclusion for today with the all-new Mazda CX-30. From the exterior, definitely a likable design. If those black claddings here need to be that large, okay, that's maybe another discussion. But overall, I think it still works, and they really have very interesting colors at Mazda recently. The interior with a high build quality and also quite functional, and they really thought about what do the customers need and where do we need to put it. So whatever you're searching, usually it's at the right point where you can use it, and this was also a very positive experience. Also very nice fabric base seats we found there, and this blue interior, that was really lovely. So also nice and a little bit more fresh ideas. And I think if you look at the exterior dimensions and what space you have in the interior, it's somewhat a very good compromise. And indeed, also when you think about the CX-5, the bigger one, and the CX-3, the smaller one, I think both customers will probably end up buying this one because it's indeed, you know, just a good mix. And if you think about this very segment, also of the competitors, this one here is probably the best price-performance ratio, because for the, taking the German entry price 24K, this one comes with so much included equipment already than for other competitors you would pay like 8,000 or 9,000 euros extras. So a very, very attractive price offering. Of course, the first petrol engine we tested here today, I mean, it's not a super strong engine, but for most use cases it will still be enough. And if you need some power at some point, you can always put it up to the RPMs and really hammer it. That's still possible. I still think it's really nice to have those naturally aspirated engines. They're hardly available on the market anymore. And just have a like smooth and linear power output. So this one, to me, is a unique selling point here with Mazda. And now you have to think about automatic gearbox, all-wheel drive, or upgrading from this one to the Skyactiv-X, which we've also driven. Yeah, good question. I would go for the automatic, about 2,000 euros extra. All-wheel drive, 2,500 euros extra. Yeah, maybe someone needs it if you like living like in mountain regions or whatever. Most people won't need it probably. And then the Skyactiv-X upgrade would be 2,500 euros for the stronger engine. It's not a super complete different experience. The final extra consumption was about a liter plus. So you like 5 mpg or something less. So you can live with that, I think. Yes, you have a little bit more fun due to more power. But then again, the same displacement. So I think in this case, I would go automatic yes, all-wheel drive no, and Skyactiv-X upgrade also no, again to keep the price low. I would probably only need the Bose sound system to get, you know, the music enjoyment. I'm always listening to music. And yeah, maybe this blue dashboard there or something. And the automatic gearbox. And then it would be finished. I could really drive this car below 30K. That's really astonishing. And probably some other competitors will be like 40K if you think about the Volkswagen T-Roc, for example. So I think now this edition probably among the best in segment, and definitely at the moment I think the best price performance ratio in this small is maybe a little small. Small would be CX-3. So let's say this compact SUV segment. Very interesting. So what do you think? Please give me some feedback to this vehicle, to all the things we've shown you today. Which one would you go for? Which engine would you pick and which trim? Please discuss it in the comments and also tune in next time.